Oh, yeah. What up? How we doing? Welcome to KillJoy Jeremy's YouTube channel. I'm the guy who talks all about rocks. We're talking about rocks now, changing up the whole channel. We're not even going to talk about horror movies anymore. Totally kidding. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. It is a fantastic Monday. A fantastic Monday filled with horror news. Jake couldn't even get his update video done. That's how much news we have, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited. Can't wait to get to it. How are we doing tonight, though? What are we up to on this Monday night? Dawson with the fish. What's up, Dawson's Creek? How you doing? What do you think will be the opening kill in Terrifier 3? Whew, something controversial, as Damien Leone has teased to us. I hope it's something brutal, something bloody, something to, set our tone, set it right. This is Terrifier. We're here to have fun. We're here to see some bloody, brutal kills. That's what I'm hoping to see from the opening scene of Terrifier 3. That, a little bit of maybe story continuation from part 2. Take place from the sanitarium. Maybe Chris Jericho's character gets ripped to shreds by our clown. That might be cool. Something like that. That's a big thing I'm looking for. I'm hearing it's controversial from director Damien Leone, so I don't know. What does controversial mean to that guy? This is the dude that, wrote in a script and probably was cracking up about it, that he was going to cut some girl in half from, yoo-hoo down. We're 3 minutes into this? Can I say vagina at this point? Genitalia down, genitalia up, I guess I should say. That dude, he thought it was hilarious. Thought that was hilarious. What is controversial to this fella? I can't wait to find out. Chow, what's up, dude? How you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Paula Fitzhenry, yo. Hi. Hello. Julian Perez is saying, honestly, I think I'm one of the only people to be really excited for the entire Strangers trilogy. I'm talking about it today. In that video I was just telling you all about, which I want to get out. I wanted to get out today, but I just didn't have time. You'll likely see it tomorrow morning. I'm excited. Honestly, I am excited. I have my criticisms about the trailer. I'm still kind of on the fence about. It does look a lot like Brian Bertino's original film, which, doesn't really bode well in my opinion. I don't want to see the same movie again, but at the same time, I don't think we can judge Chapter 1 just as its own. Like, this is kind of being marketed as a full story across 3 movies. So I think, you'll really be able to criticize it and be able to say, okay, well, I don't know if this worked after we've seen Part 3, or the full supercut that they're talking about making now. That's going to be 4.5 hours long of all 3 movies together. That might even include some additional footage that doesn't make the cut of the movies when they release in theaters. So there's a lot to this Strangers trilogy. It's very complicated. I don't think we can just be out the gate saying it sucks, even if Chapter 1 doesn't do it for us. I got to see the full thing before I'm really sold one way or the other. And I've said this before many times, but I'm more excited for Chapters 2 and 3 than I am for Chapter 1. Chapter 1 seems like it's going to be retelling the story we've already seen before to kind of just set the mood, get us where we need to be to tell the rest of the story in 2 and 3. So honestly, Chapters 2 and 3 can't come soon enough. We're getting 2 later this year and then 3 at the top of next year. Those are the movies I'm more excited for personally. So Julian, I can't wait for it either. We're just gonna have to see. I know Bluck is not excited for it. Bluckett is not crazy about modern movies too much, but Strangers Chapters 1 through 3 CW edition looks like the Riverdale cast. Well, you got Madeline Pesh in there. She's from that, right? I don't watch Riverdale. I don't know, but I remember reading that somewhere. That's what I got there. I don't know. I'm excited for it. I have my criticisms. I hope they don't over-explain the strangers either. It's another big thing. Because then they're not really strangers anymore, are they? So we'll just have to see. RJ Skarenki is saying, I'm so excited for Scream 7, the more news that comes in. I wish we had some news, RJ. That's something I've been saying to all my Scream friends out there. I'm like, God, I want to be excited for this, but we just don't know enough about it yet. I'm still on the fence, personally. We know very little. We know that, Kevin Williamson is directing for some reason. We know that Neve Campbell is starring in it, and we know that Guy Busick wrote the script this time around. I love Guy Busick, love his writing, and I love Kevin Williamson's writing, too, but I just don't know. I don't know him as a director. It's an odd choice in my opinion. And it's not like I'm not complaining because I think he's a bad director. I think he knows Scream like the back of his hand, maybe better than most of the living people in this world. Is he the best choice to direct Scream 7? I don't know about that. I think there are people who are slightly better directing than Kevin Williamson, considering he only has 1 credit. Kind of wish Kevin was writing the script for Scream 7. No offense to Guy Busick. I love Guy Busick scripts, man. Oh my God. I couldn't couldn't praise Abigail enough after the exposition there, how they set up their characters. I loved that. Oh, loved that. And Abigail loved, I love Scream 6, love Scream 5, Ready or Not, bangers across the board. Really like all those movies. But I need to know more about Scream 7, I think, before I'm excited about it. I gotta know a little more. Right now, I just feel like the studio is like, please forgive us. We're so sorry, we're idiots. And that's how a lot of the marketing comes off to me right now. But we'll just have to see, man. We'll get some more stuff confirmed soon. I'm excited. I'm excited to find out. Garrett Peck is saying, I'm excited for the Strangers trilogy. If Chapter 1 cost $25 million, it would need like $75 million to break even. Doing a trilogy was a roll of the dice. What did it cost to make the whole thing? Because they already shot it, right? What was the does anyone know that? What the budget was for the full, like, all 3 movies? Because that would give us a better idea of what these movies have to make. So, Chapter 1's got to be impressive, too. You know, that's another big thing. That's a roll the dice here. If Chapter 1, fails, is anyone going to go see Chapters 2 and Chapters 3? I don't know. So I once again, I don't know. I don't know. This is, it's the whole thing's a dice roll, especially with a big consensus of people saying it looks a lot like the original. That's not, I don't know how good that is marketing wise. But then again, you can't come out the gate doing something entirely different either. You know what I mean? Then it's like, well, now the Strangers fans from before might not even be on board. So I get it. I get the decision to try to make something similar, but it's interesting. Ryan Swayze just got done watching Scream 6 for the first time. Oh, God, Ryan. Ryan, you've been in a lot of these streams. I appreciate you. Thank you. But God, I might have spoiled it for you, bud. Damn. I feel bad. I'm not gonna lie, I just talk about the Scream movies outright, no spoiler warnings, because it seems to be the biggest thing around these parts, so I figure most people have seen those. Damn, Ryan, that's awesome, though. I hope you enjoyed it. Said the third act was kind of weak. Yeah, most people would say that, I'd say. I'm with you there. Third act is really fun in Scream 6. Just the killer reveal's not great. I think that's why you see a lot of people saying... I think that's why you see a lot of people saying Scream 6 is the worst Scream. It's just a departure from what makes the other films great, and that's okay. You got to do that in franchises. You got to try different things out. If you don't, it just stagnates. It becomes the same thing over and over and over again. I think that's boring. I'm not crazy about that. I like when movies try different things out and play with the same elements just in totally different ways. Scream 6 was able to do that, and I appreciate it for what it is. It's not every aspect of it is perfect. In fact, I think a lot of the things that they try to replicate from the past are actually some of its weakest elements, but some of the fresh stuff that they put in there is really fun and really gruesome, dude. I love Scream 6. I think it's a really fun movie. Jason Dyer, what's up, dude? How you doing? Alligator all day, every day. Thank you again. You are awesome. Of course, Jason. Thanks for being in the stream, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We're going to talk a little horror. Gonna talk a little horror tonight. Maybe even talk a little alligator too. Why the heck not? Richard B, what's up, dog? Love the profile picture. Hey man, hope you're doing well and hope your old man is doing well too. Thank you. He is doing much better. Had to take care of him this weekend, which is why you didn't see a stream on Friday, but here we are live now, Richard. Yeah, he's doing all good though. Things are good. Just to keep you guys updated, both of my folks now have some health complications that old Jake's got to take care of, so I'm going to try to be consistent with YouTube, but it's tough. Got a lot of side projects in the work right now. Works, I should say, right now. So it's tough doing all of that, on top of this. It's a lot of stuff, but I love it. I'm so lucky to be in the position that I am, and I hope you guys are vibing with the content, man. I'm going to try to keep it as consistent as humanly possible, but it's hard. Shit's tough, man. But Richard, I appreciate you being here and hanging out and supporting the page. Does mean a lot. Hey, Jake, how are you? I see you met my friend Emmy on Twitter. Yes, Emmy has been tweeting at me a few things. What was I'm failing to remember the last thing. I think it was something about Terrifier 3, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, yeah. Emmy was asking me about, what if Damien Leone and Rob Jabba the Hutt? I can't remember. Rob Jabbas? I can't remember. I don't know what his name is. Dude that did The Sadness from, 2022. They were asking me, don't assume gender, come on now. They were asking me if, what if those two people worked on a movie together? And I was like, that'd be cool. I'd be all about that. They're both very brutal. I like most of the movies that those two have done. The Sadness is so fucking out there, man. The Sadness is insane. Who? But Marley Kai 2000, I love it. It's great stuff. I love interacting with the horror community, especially when they're nice. You know, not everyone's nice, and I appreciate people being nice. Zan Yi, maybe? Zanye? What's up, dog? How you doing? I hope the T3 trailer comes soon. We were talking about this on a previous live stream. I really think we won't get it until like maybe midsummer, like maybe around like July, like the Maxine times when we're really getting into talking about that, getting close to that release. I feel like that's when we're going to see the Terrifier 3 trailer. I'm very excited for it, of course. The movie I'm the most anticipating for the whole year, dog. I cannot wait for it. Terrifier 3 is gonna rock. I just watched Terrifier 2. I showed my partner Terrifier 2 for the first time ever this weekend. She loved it. She wanted to throw up a little bit, but she loved it. It was awesome. I can't wait for Terrifier 3, dude. Counting down the days. And the release date, if you guys missed that update, is 2 weeks closer than it was. No longer coming out on October 25th, now coming out October 11th. Whew! Damn, I can't wait. 2 weeks earlier? That's awesome. Significantly closer to that release date now. Good shit. Lollipop Sanchez, what's up? I'm loving the Stu profile picture. I'm a giant fan of The Strangers. I can't fucking wait for Strangers Chapter 1. Dude, me too. You know, and that's why even though I have all my criticisms and I keep revolving around that, I am really excited for this film. I love both of the Strangers movies so much, and both of them for totally different reasons. You know, I criticize, I'll shit on the Scream franchise sometimes. I'm like, man, a lot of these movies are just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. But what I love about The Strangers so far, you know, this might change in 2 weeks. It might change, who knows? But something I love about the Strangers franchise so far is it does something completely different with both movies, even though the concepts are pretty much the same. I love that. I love that the first one is just this more like steady and focused home invasion film, where the second one feels more like an 80s slasher. Excellent stuff there, man. I love both movies so much. Johannes Roberts kills it in the sequel. Brian Bertino is obviously an excellent director for that first movie. I think the first one might be the scariest slasher film of all time, too. I don't know. It just, it hits it strikes a chord with me. Hits a nerve that terrifies me. I love it. But it's great stuff, man. So I'm really excited to see what they do with Chapter 1. And like I've been saying, more so with Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. Can't wait to see when it starts to get weird. The Green Gaze is saying Kansas City Chiefs should be the killers in Scream 8. I think most people most NFL fans would agree. Don't know how crazy we are about the Chiefs at the moment. Shay Rance, what's up, dog? Hey, Jake, how's it going? Are you going to watch In a Violent Nature? I spoke to an actor in it, and it sounds like a great time. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for this film. Honestly, top 10 movies I'm highly anticipating for the rest of the year. That's totally on the list. Very excited for In a Violent Nature. I love the Friday the 13th movies. They are so silly and goofy and weird. I can't get enough of them. And this feels like it's going to be like kind of very similar in that same vein. I'm here for that. I love the Friday the 13th aspects we're already seeing from the trailer. I've seen some people say it looks boring. Like it looks like it's going to be a boring movie just following the killer the entire time. But in my opinion, they've solved the biggest problem with Friday the 13th. And it's the fact that we're always focusing on a bunch of dumb, horny teenagers that I just don't care about. They've solved the problem. We're focusing on the most interesting character the whole time now. I think this is I think it's great. I don't know. In my opinion, it's an evolution of the Friday the 13th movies. I think in some ways it's going to be a better formula. But we'll just have to see. You know, once again, I haven't seen it yet. Total speculation. But I think it's going to be great. I'm so hyped for it. Aqua Death. What's up, dog? How's it going? Aqua Death. Sounds like the name of like an awesome B movie about drowning people. Terrifier 3 news made my month. Dude, good. That's so exciting. I'm glad. I'm so glad it did. I was over the moon about that. I was really hyped. Old school, yeah, I've seen the new Superman suit. I dig it. I think it looks good. I've had a few people on Twitter say it looks disgusting. It looks wrinkly. I like the practical look for superheroes. Maybe that doesn't fit Superman's vibe, but I'm more into that. I kind of like when you see a superhero. I mean, this is total speculation here. But I like when we see a superhero struggle a little bit. You know, I mean, I know that's not really Superman's MO. And, you know, listen, I'm no expert when it comes to Superman. Kevin Smith would probably strangle me right now, but I think that it would be cool just to see him not exactly 100% the same character that we've always seen in the movies. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with a little deviation, trying out something else. I don't know. Those are the superhero stories, at least, that I find myself a little more interested in, when it's like you see them struggling, you see them trying to like rise to the top, trying to rise to the occasion, become these big heroes for their respective towns, cities, planets in this case. I don't know. I'm here for that. I'm here to see what James Gunn ends up doing with it, making it his own. Charlotte Gore, what's up, Charlotte? How's it going? It's been a long time since I made a live. It's all good. I try and sleep earlier most nights now. Hope you're good. So many exciting horror films on the way. Can't wait for Maxine the most. Charlotte, I hope you're good, and I'm glad you're getting to sleep earlier. One of us has to do it, damn it. I can't make that happen. I'm such a night owl. But good to hear. I hope you're getting enough sleep, and thanks for dropping in. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Maxine is easily one of the movies I am the most excited for. It looks awesome. X and Pearl were some of my favorite movies from 2022, so I can't wait to see what Maxine is all about. Our continuation to the X franchise, capping it off maybe with this third film. Ty has teased that he might do another film in the X franchise at some point in the future. It might be his next project, so he's on the fence about it, though, is what it seems like. Regardless, I'm excited for it. Ty Lee is asking if I've seen Tarot yet. I really want to discuss it. A case of if it should have been R-rated. I've seen Tarot. I had so little to say about it. I didn't even make a review. I'm like, this is, I mean, to sum it up without spoiling anything, because, you know, again, it is a fresh new horror movie that just came out. Most people haven't been able to see it yet. That's all good. I don't know. I mean, it's just more PG-13 horror. It is so bland. It's so repetitive. It's the same thing you've seen so many times. And it just kind of makes me sad, because I think that while the concept wasn't like all that inventive, I don't know. It just, you hit the same beats as movies like Night Swim, Imaginary, every Blumhouse movie for the last 10 years. It's just nothing new. It's nothing I haven't seen 1,000 times before. And on top of that, it's almost like a lot of the dialogue was written by a teenage girl who just got into horoscopes. So like that, I can see why a lot of people probably weren't crazy about some of the dialogue in there. I don't know, man. It was so fine. It was so whatever. Like I did feel like I wasted my time a little bit leaving the theater. But was it as bad as Night Swim, Imaginary, what else came out this year? that was kind of rough. What was it as bad as those movies? I mean, the one thing about it that I did like was all of the ghosts I thought looked pretty good. And on top of that, they had like a Freddy Krueger sense of humor, which I thought made some of those scenes stand out. It made it feel a little less soulless, which is so important, man. Which is so important with a movie like that. If you can put any bit of personality into a big PG-13 horror flick, man, it goes a long way. It goes a long way for a lot of these movies. So I don't know. I just was not crazy about it. Every single shock, surprise, scare is so predictable in the whole thing. Makes me sad. But Mustafa Aiden, what's up, Mustafa? Oh my God, look at that profile picture. I wish I was there right now, Mustafa. That's gorgeous. I want to dive into those waters. Oh, thank you for the 5, man. Really appreciate you. Hey, Jake, I watched you from day one. Have you heard A24 is doing hey, back up. You've been here since day one, dog. Like, I've been doing this since like 2019. That's awesome. If you've been here since day one, kudos to you, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it. And have I heard that A24 is doing a Backrooms movie with Kane Pixels? I can't wait. It's terrifying and awesome. Dude, I've been a huge fan of Kane ever since I saw my first Backrooms video from his. I just love it. I think he's incredible. And he's young, dude. I mean, he's only like 18 or something like that. Crazy. Like, it's crazy for him to have the kind of a success that he's had at that young of an age. It's incredible. I can't wait to see his Backrooms movie, dude. Like, I love a lot of the weird videos that he's posted. I am such a big fan of cryptic horror that doesn't give you the full picture. It just gives you a little bit. Some people are so frustrated by that. Like, that's a big pet peeve of some, but it might be my favorite, like, weird, super niche subgenre of horror. I can't get enough of it. It's my favorite. I like when I really like when movies, shows, weird YouTube videos withhold as much information as they can, because then I think it just makes it scarier, in my opinion. So I love it. It's good stuff. I can't wait to see his full movie, dude. It's gonna rock. Very much so gonna rock. So, dude, thank you so much for being here since day one. Like, I can't even thank you enough about that, bro. Means a whole lot. And thanks for the support. Thanks for supporting the page, dude. Roll on the Backrooms movie. Let's see it soon, dog. Let's see it real soon here. Thank you again, Mustafa. Oh God, Hollywood guy, what's up, dude? Thanks for the $5. Appreciate it. Thanks for being a KillJoy cult member too. I am not even going to try. I'm so sorry. I only speak English, which is so unfortunate. I want to learn another language, but I got nothing there. I got that's like that's Spanish, right? I think that's like very basic Spanish. I couldn't even try, dude. I'm so sorry. Thank you though. Wait, wrong language. What's up, Jake? I'm vibing, man. I'm vibing out. I'm hanging out on stream, talking a little bit about horror. Things are good, dude. We got some exciting updates today too. We got some really, really weird and exciting updates, which I can't wait to talk about in tomorrow's video. So, Hollywood Guy, thanks for the $5, man. I do appreciate it. What's up with you, my friend? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on in, taking your shoes off, being a respectful little fella. Thanks for the 5. Appreciate you. What's up, Dylan and Luke? How you guys doing? Splattercast is joining us. What's up, dudes? Have you seen Skinamarink or the Outwaters? Very cryptic analog horror stuff. Yes, I love Skinamarink. I think Skinamarink fucking rocked. I respect the Outwaters. I respect the hell out of it. I think it is a very interesting, it's a very interesting and unique horror film, but I don't know if it was for me 100%. I love cryptic shit, but there is a line. You know what I mean? There's a line where it's like, okay, you just didn't give us enough. And the Outwaters, in my opinion, the Outwaters is like if you were to actually go out to a desert where shit was fucked up, you know, sci-fi, haunted, whatever the fuck bullshit, and you were to find a camcorder out there, you would find something that looks exactly like the Outwaters on there. And to that, I could not praise the director and I believe star of it as well. What's his name? Like, it's Robbie something, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't praise him enough for doing that. It's incredible. But I think I prefer Skinamarink a little more because they do give you something about the characters. They just don't in the Outwaters. They don't give you anything about the characters, and I gotta have something. You know what I mean? I gotta have something to latch onto with characters, with a narrative, and we just don't have that in the Outwaters. But again, it's the reason I don't like it, but it's also the reason I respect the hell out of it. I think it's such an interesting film. So you won't hear me on the record saying the Outwaters is bad. I don't think it's a bad film at all. I just don't think it's for me. It's a really interesting approach though. I really, really dig it. Skinamarink, on the other hand, really worked for me. It's very cryptic and it does give you everything you need to know about the characters, just not in a conventional way at all. Like it's like shown to you through the cartoons on the screen, little things in the background, little audio clips. It's such an interesting movie to me. I love it. I've seen it a couple times now, and I think Skinamarink too, another thing about it is the best way it's enjoyed is in your room by yourself, lights off, put this movie on. Turn the phone off, you know, dear God. If you're watching a movie with your phone on, you're already missing something no matter what. Just zone into Skinamarink and just let it happen. Like that's the best way to do it. But yes, I really love talking about both of those movies, maybe more than I do even watching them. So great little movies to talk about and put a magnifying glass under or over, I guess. Robbie Banfitch, yeah, that's it, Blucka. Thank you. Yeah, no, he's honestly, I look forward to whatever he does next, man. It's that Outwaters wasn't necessarily for me, but I respect the hell out of it. Is The Empty Man cryptic? I didn't like it. I was kind of confused and bored most of it. It's like 2.5 hours for fuck's sake. I wasn't crazy about The Empty Man either, although I remember Drum Dums like loved it. He was like, "Oh, this movie's so underrated." I think that's why I watched it too, and I was like, I don't know. It just didn't really do it for me. It is very cryptic, but again, like I think there's a level, right? There's meters with it. Like I can only take so much before it's like, okay, you just didn't give me anything, dog, you know? Well, all this crazy shit happened, but I don't even have a theory, you know, to back up why. So like that's my draw. I just love being able to come up with theories about what happened. Some stuff is left to your imagination, but not all. I think that's a big thing with cryptic horror or just media in general. You got to give me something. Got to give me at least a little bit. Got to give me something to go off of. Empty Man does, though, in all fairness. There's other things about it I just wasn't crazy about, but an underrated movie though that many would say is very underrated. So I would say it's one to give a watch to. Fort Misery Gaming, what's up, dog? Did you get the email from me about the fan-made Scream 4 sequel trailer? Looked sweet. I gotta check that out, man. I just got back logged onto the internet pretty much. I've been trying to stay away from it on the weekends because there are some days where I swear to God I am looking at my phone the entire day and I'm just like, oh my God, I just wasted so much time looking at this damn thing. I gotta actually live life. We're all gonna die someday, you know what I mean? We're all gonna die someday, and we're gonna look back and be like, holy shit, I spent that much time on my phone. God damn. But I'm looking at the email right now, my friend. I'm gonna check this out. Did you also send me a picture of Couples Choice Award winners from... What is this? What am I looking at here, Chris? Oh, God. No, I'm kidding. It's nothing bad. It's just Couples Choice Awards, Wedding Wire 2021. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is at all. But you know what? I appreciate it nonetheless for Misery Gaming. Thank you. Thanks for being a member too, man. I appreciate your support of the page. Oh, we got to talk. See, me, Evan, and Dylan, and Luke, we all got to talk about Empty Man at some point, because maybe I need to give this one another watch. It do be fucking goated with the sauce, as Splattercast has also said. You know what? Maybe I got to give it another watch. I remember just being like, it was okay. I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't hate it, but I was vibing with it. Nonetheless, my dudes. It wasn't a 10 out of 10 in my opinion, but I remember it was like, it was like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. I had a good time. There's some cool scares in there. Some weird shit. I love weird shit. Nothing wrong with that. Ty Lee is saying I need to muster up the patience to watch Skinamarink. Do it, dude. It's so worth it. It's so worth it. Very worthy watch. The ending of that movie scares the shit out of me. Noah Atkinson is saying fans want Cillian Murphy for Victor Von Doom or Dr. Doom in the MCU. I could see it. I think it'd be a good choice for that. I could vibe with that. Ryan Swayze is saying Ken from Sledgehammer Horror wants you back on his channel to do a In Defense Of. Absolutely. I gotta message him. I have so many messages to send. I should hit him up though. I should hit up Ken. It's been a minute since we talked. So we did an awesome video talking about our first, my first horror movie, I should say. And it was really fun. It was really, really good time. You're coming to Ohio, dog? Come on over. Let's hang out. Let's watch The Empty Man. Let's get absolutely blasted and watch Empty Man, dude. Empty Man watch party I'll bring to be. See, look, I didn't even read that comment. I swear to God. Dylan is on it, dude. Dylan's on it. Let's run that shit. For those who don't know, me and Splattercast are going live on Wednesday to talk about The Strangers, the original one, not Chapter 1, and not Praying at Night. So come on over Wednesday and talk about that weird movie with us. It is very fun to do these discussions where we kind of just bounce off to 100 different topics. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but we're gonna have a focused topic discussion on Wednesday to do something a little different. I usually do this, I'm usually just kind of bouncing around. Whatever people want to talk about, let's talk about it. Bam, let's run it. Like Ryan Swayze is asking about Evil Dead 2013, one of my favorite horror movies. I love it. And don't get me wrong, I love doing this all the time. You'll see another one of these streams on Friday, but Wednesday is going to be a lot of fun because we're just going to be talking about The Strangers 2008, and that's it. And it is going to get very strange, as Dylan is saying. But thoughts on Evil Dead 2013? Holy shit. Just knocked my Panera drink right off the shelf there. I got so excited. This is one of my favorite horror films of all time, Ryan. I love Evil Dead 2013, and this might be a hot take, but it's my favorite Evil Dead film. I have watched it so many times, like maybe 100 times at this point. I saw it at a very, when I say a very young age, I don't know. I was like 14, 15 when I saw it. Like I saw it in the theaters when it came out. I've been in love with it ever since. One of the scariest horror films I've ever seen. Nothing fucks me up as bad as that movie does. It's so upsetting from start to finish. It is just, goddamn. A brutal horror film. And as I like to say, I think it's the blueprints for a perfect horror movie. I love everything about Evil Dead 2013. The characters are great. The kills are great. The gore, the blood, the intensity. Nothing about it. I wouldn't change a thing. Like it's perfect. Down to every weird little shot in that movie. I can't get enough of it. So yeah, I don't know. It's a top 10 horror movie of all time for me personally. I just love Evil Dead 2013. I can talk about it all day. It's so good. It's very good. Bob White saying that's your favorite Evil Dead film too. Very nice. There's so many choices. I think all 5 could be contenders for favorite. They're all very good. But I love it. Yeah, it's good stuff. Strangers, so we're not doing a watch party for The Strangers anymore, but like at the same time, I don't know. The watch parties, sometimes they get some views, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So I'm just kind of going off of what the algorithm is telling me to do. So seems like people might be a little more interested in like a discussion for the film versus a watch party. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see what's up with that. Wednesday time will only tell. Ty, we'll just have to see what happens. Evil Dead 2013 is top 3, maybe top 2, depending on the day. I feel that, man. Oh, I 100% feel that. The Fly will forever be my favorite horror film. I love it. That's another one I saw way too young and has stuck with me ever since. So maybe that nostalgia is clouding me a bit there, but The Fly, like Evil Dead 2013, Scream, Halloween, Terrifier 2, like those are all up there. Love all those so much. I'm glad that we got a lot of love for Evil Dead 2013. That makes me happy. It's my favorite Evil Dead as well. It is one of the most beautiful third acts. Oh, I couldn't agree more. God, Rain and Blood, The Abomination. Ooh, brutal. Richard, I'm so sorry if I'm not getting to your comments. I'm trying to get to everybody. You can always throw a super chat out there, though. You know, I'm just saying, if I'm not getting to it, that's what I'll say. Do you think we'll see Sienna throw acid on Art's face like he did and possibly see Art's real identity underneath his face paint? That's interesting. We've technically seen all of Art besides what's underneath that face so far. We've seen his ass, for Christ's sake. So yeah, who knows? Who knows what we'll see of Art's in part 3? I do think we'll learn a little more about his backstory, who he is, and all that. But again, after watching Terrifier 2 again this weekend, I think something I've noticed is I feel like they're treating Art the Clown almost like he's this parasite. Another scene that never really meant anything to me before until like now is that scene where in the dream sequence at the Clown Cafe, he hands Sienna that box and there's a heart in it and it fills up with that black goo. Well, you know, later on in the film, we learned that Sienna's father had a brain tumor and it led him to like insanity. Like it made him, well, do this to himself. I can't say it on YouTube, but you know what I'm talking about. And it makes me think, like, is Art the Clown like does he grow inside of people? We literally saw that happen at the end of Terrifier 2. So like, is that kind of his MO? Like he can just kind of grow out from the inside of people and just turn into Art the Clown again. Bam, there he is. It makes you wonder, you know, it makes you wonder if that's the case or not. Like, was he a person or is he just some hellspawn that keeps coming up to Earth and killing people? There's so many questions, man. There's so many questions with Art the Clown. I'm so excited to find out just a little bit more about him in this next chapter. I really do hope that, you know, going back to this whole conversation about keeping things cryptic, I hope that Damien is able to keep that same mysterious energy that we had in part 2 alive in part 3. I know that was a criticism of Terrifier 2, but I love how mysterious and weird that film is. I can't get enough of it. I don't want the whole, here's all the answers. Bam, there's everything about Art the Clown. I think about season 6 of Lost, and I know, once again, this is a weird pull, but bear with me here. Season 6 of Lost tells you everything you need to know with every episode. And like, I lost interest. I was like, okay, cool, great. That answer. It's like this fleeting moment of, oh, that's it. And then you don't care anymore. You know, like that's the thing. I don't want the answers to anything. I like living in the mystery when it comes to a good horror movie. I think that keeps the suspense and terror alive for as long as possible. The very last thing you should do with a horror franchise, when when it's time to throw it to the side and move on to the next thing, that's when you give out the answers. So personally, I hope we don't get like really anything until part 4, which so far is said to kind of be like the last part of this full story. So that's kind of where I hope it ends, and that's it. Give us that part 4, give us all the answers at the end, and then just leave Terrifier where it is. So that's kind of what I'm hoping right now for Terrifier 3. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what they end up doing, but I can't wait for this October, I'll tell you what, man. And Terrifier 4, whenever that happens. Marley Kai is saying Army of Darkness is your favorite Evil Dead. Totally fair. Army of Darkness rocks. If I'm in a bad mood, I put on Army of Darkness and I got a smile from ear to ear, dude. That movie is so fucking fun and ridiculous. I can't get enough of it. Albert Pedroza 93 is saying, still remember being 13, 14 watching it in the drive-in. Oh, I envy you, Albert. I wish I could see the original film like at the drive-in when it came out. The shock and surprise of the scene where I can't remember. Oh my God, it's been so long since I've seen it. But that first Deadeye comes out from the window or whatever. Fuck, it's awesome. Just I love those movies. Scottish Geek Guy, howdy folks, howdy. What's up, dude? Welcome in. Appreciate you. Thomas C, KillJoy cult member. What's up, Thomas? How you doing? Hey, Jake. Hey, Thomas. Welcome, welcome. Evil Dead 2013 is brilliant, way better than Evil Dead Rise. I like it better than Rise, for sure, but I love Rise. Whew, love Rise for sure. Madison, what's up, what's up? How you doing? How you doing, how you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Jake, are you keeping up with the WWE post WrestleMania? Dude, I don't follow wrestling almost at all, but I will say I was with my buddies this past weekend for a couple of hours, and they had that on. So I was like, cool, hell yeah. Big sweaty dudes fighting each other. Rock on. I love it, man. I don't know. It's never been a big interest of mine, but I love that other people love it, especially a lot of my friends. So I think that's very cool. Hollywood Guy, thanks for the $10, dog. Appreciate you a bunch. Thanks for the big support, man. Jacob might be the only one here, but I think they should do away with the legacy characters in Scream. I get that they need star power, but it's time to move on with Sydney's story and focus on Kirby. You know, Hollywood Guy, it's so tough to say right now. I think it's really easy, right? It's really easy to say, well, you know, Sydney's story is kind of over. We kind of figured that out a long time ago. Why are we still doing that now with Scream 7? Why are we going back to that story? You know, honestly, my thoughts on Scream 7 is I feel like they can get away with one more Sydney story with what's been set up in Scream 5. Like we've set up that she has a family now. She's married to Mark Kincaid. There's a lot there. There's a whole movie in that whole little cutaway line that we got in Scream 5. I really do believe that. I really think there's a whole movie there that we can do and reinvent the character again. But after that, if, you know, they announce Scream 8 starring Sidney Prescott again, Nev Campbell's back, I'm going to be like, I don't know. I mean, unless they set up something in 7 that feels like it's worth our time, maybe, but I don't know, dude. I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, all right, let's let this be the last run with Sidney Prescott. Let's put a bookend on that story and move on to something else. Because that's what was so exciting about Scream 5 to me initially. It's like, oh, we're telling a new story with new characters? Whoa, that's wild. All right, let's see what this is all about. Let's run it. Let's see what happens. And honestly, Sam Carpenter, badass final girl. She's not just the same character as Sidney Prescott, which I think so many other franchises have tried to do. They've tried to just make a new character that's so similar to the old one. And Scream didn't do that. Scream tried to do their own thing with a brand new type of character. And you know, Sam Carpenter, I don't think is perfect. I don't love the idea that she's Billy's daughter, and that's what makes her want to kill Ghostfaces. It feels a little bit like, okay, you're overdoing it. You're hamming it up there. Really diving into the soap opera aspect of this franchise a bit too much. But everything else about her character, I think, fucking rocks, dude. She's brutal. She kind of has like a bloodlust. She stabs the shit out of Ghostface every single time. That's great. Sidney Prescott, too. An amazing final girl. Don't get me wrong. But I do feel like when you just let a story go on forever and ever and ever, it just becomes too much. You know, it just becomes, you're sweetening the pot there. So I hope that they do end her story with Scream 7. That's it. Don't try to set up another trilogy, dear God. Let's do something new with Scream after this. Let's give you know, like the legacy fans and the people who have been there since the beginning one more like movie that kind of feels like the original. That's what I feel like 7 is gonna be. And let's just hope it's not too repetitive of stuff we've already seen from the franchise. That's my big thing. But Hollywood Guy, I am starting to feel what you're saying here. You know, I really think they need to start focusing on new characters and just tell a new story revolving around Ghostface. I really think this franchise can go on forever, but unfortunately there is just so many outside factors that are tearing away at it, especially at the moment, you know, with all the controversy with the studio and, you know, Nev Campbell, thank God, is finally getting a good paycheck for this movie. Dear Lord. It's like, I can't believe it took us this long and through these ways. It sucks. It sucks the way it had to happen. But I'm at least happy that my favorite thing about Scream 7 so far is that Nev Campbell's getting a paycheck. that she feels like is respectful. That's my favorite thing about Scream 7 so far. I'm hoping to hear more good things about it in the future, but so far I'm just getting a weird vibe from the studio thus far. But Hollywood Guy, thank you for the $10, my friend. Focus on Kirby. Let's see what she's up to. I hope she's in the new movie for sure. I want to see FBI Kirby kick ass in this new movie. That would be great. Andy's with us tonight. What's up, dude? How you doing? Welcome to the stream, Andy. Thanks for hanging out with us. The UK won't show the Terrifier films in the cinema? Oh, Charlotte. Oh, we gotta fix that. What the fuck? That's no fun. You gotta see Terrifier in the theaters. Oh. Someone get Charlotte over to the United States. Let's let's get something going. It is so much fun. Oh, so much fun seeing those in the theaters. Honestly, I think half the reason I like Terrifier 2 so much was the theater experience. I'm not trying to rub it in or nothing, Charlotte. Get over to the US and see these in the theaters. They're so much fun. It was just awesome to be in a room full of people who are like, were so excited about this movie. You know, they were like, oh, this is awesome. This is going to be great. And it's the most brutal thing we'll probably ever see in a theater. You know what I mean? It's, oh my God, it's so fucked up. You're not seeing that in the new Blumhouse movie. You know what I mean? So it's great stuff. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, do you like the angle that Sid is hated and will kind of be an anti-hero of the town from what the Scoopers are saying? Scoopers are saying a lot of things, man. You know, I don't know. I think that's a pretty good educated guess about what could happen in Scream 7. Is that going to be the case the whole time? We'll just have to see. But I actually do kind of like the idea of her being hated, like moving into this new town and everyone's like, oh, stay away from me. You know, you had all these killers around you at some point. Again, the idea of reinventing the character. That's so important to making Scream 7 work. I know some, you know, and listen, I know some people are just going to be like, well, you know what, Sydney's back. That's all I care about. And that's fine. I respect it. I need a little more than that. I need a good character direction, especially when you're handling Sidney Prescott, who is like, I mean, like the zenith of Final Girls, dude. Like, you can't just be throwing any story at me revolving around Sidney Prescott. You know, I'm just a little more, I guess I'm a little more picky when it comes to sacred characters like this. So don't get me wrong. It's not that I dislike Sidney. I think she's one of the best, if not the best, Final Girl of all time. So if you're going to put just a whatever story with her in it, like, I just think that's going to suck. Like, I hope that's not the case. I hope this is a worthy story. Because I think about, like, The Exorcist Believer, right? Like, that movie shoehorns in Ellen Burstyn and Reagan McNeil. I don't know why I used real life names and a fictional name with that. Linda Blair. There you go. They shoehorn in these characters, and it was not worth my time. I'll tell you what, The Exorcist is, in my opinion, one of the best horror films ever made. And to just throw in those characters so loosely like that, I think kind of sucked. I would hate to see the same thing happen to Sidney Prescott. I really would. You know, it happened with The Exorcist. I don't want to see it happen for Scream, man. I really don't. So Thomas C is saying, what if they did another Mrs. Loomis for Scream 7? Not sure who or how, but a parent being Ghostface again would be cool. Thomas, I'm not clicking on your name anymore. Fun fact. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. I'm fucking with you, man. I respect it. I respect the opinion, but dear God, please no more parent ghost faces. Nola Ray, thanks for being a KillJoy cult member, my friend. I'm excited to see the mother side of Sydney, whole new level. I agree. I hope they're able to do that. Hope they're able to make that happen. Charlotte Gore is saying Neve Campbell has apparently canceled a convention this summer, so that could mean she's busy filming, most likely. Yes. Had a few people lose their fucking minds when I said that filming for Scream 7 might happen in the fall. I'm like, oh, dear God, okay. They're filming in the summer, dear Lord. I do think it is a little funny that people are so, that people get really riled up just because of rumors, man. I mean, like, I don't know, anybody can go online and just say like, well, in Scream 7, you see, this is gonna happen. And I feel like a lot of people would believe it nowadays. It's kind of nuts. Kind of nuts, man. Makes me sad. Billy Jennings is saying, what's up, everyone? What's up, Jake? What's up, Billy? How you doing, man? Welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here, my friend. Appreciate you. Catbread is with us tonight. Thanks for being a KillJoy cult member. What's up? What's up, Catbread? How you doing? How are those laser eyes heating up this afternoon? I love it, dude. Drew Haas? Drew Haas, I love it. I'm reading in Fangoria that the new Strangers trilogy could be made into a 4-hour movie. Is that possible? It's being talked about, yes, with Lionsgate is discussing it with director Renny Harlin at the moment. At least that's what they tell us. I have a big update video coming out tomorrow, most likely, talking a bit about that. I think that's awesome, personally. I think that's a great update. And here's the thing. I even say in the video, I'm like, this reminds me a lot of Grindhouse, which was like a big financial flop, but at the same time, it's beloved. I mean, people love like Planet Terror and what the fuck is the other one? Oh my God, I can't remember it, but it's Death Proof. People love those movies, and more movies have been made based off of a lot of those fake trailers that we saw before the Grindhouse movies even played in theaters all the way back in 2007. Thanksgiving being the most recent one. So, like, to me, I would love the idea of dropping this, like, 4-hour-long cut of the entire Strangers trilogy in theaters after all 3 of the respective chapters come out theatrically beforehand. That would be so interesting to me. Put in some additional footage that we didn't see from when they released beforehand. I think that would be so cool. I'm very into that. It would be a lot. it would be, I mean, you know, sitting in the theaters for probably 5 hours with an intermission. That's insane. But dear God, I'm here for it. I don't know. I think it could be fun. Splattercast is saying we weren't crazy about 5 and 6. I'm really hoping for a solid, more adult story from Scream 7. I want deaths to matter again. When did they matter in Scream, I guess is my question. I mean, Dewey has survived so many movies in the past. I get this criticism. This criticism comes up a lot with Screams 5 and 6. It's like, man, they didn't, Chad lived and all that. And I'm like, dude, they kept Dewey alive for like 5 movies. That's crazy in my opinion. I don't know. Scream has always been the silly, goofy, fun franchise for me, and they delivered for that in Screams 5 and 6, just in my opinion. So I guess I wasn't really looking for. I guess I wasn't expecting dark and serious and adult story, if that makes sense. I was expecting more, you know, teen-centric, more like this is just a fun, goofy horror film. That's what those movies have always been to me, at least. So I guess for 7 to be too much of an adult story, I'd be kind of shocked. I'd almost be, once again, shocked by that direction. It's a new direction for the franchise. I mean, Scream has always been a little goofy, a little soap opera-y, sometimes a little too soap opera-y, but I'm excited to see where 7 goes nonetheless. I just hope it's good more than anything. It doesn't have to be anything super familiar. I want to see something hopefully different in Scream 7 and just something good, something well written. Darcy Fletcher is saying, do you think the first kill sequence that we heard about in Terrifier will be when Art gets back to the Terrifier ride only to find a swarm of cops that he just massacres? I have talked about this a bit. We got a picture maybe a while, I'm trying to think when this was. A couple of months ago, I want to say during the filming process of Terrifier 3, where it's Art the Clown, I think he's at the Terrifier again. It's a shot from the upcoming film. It was like from the camera. Damien Leone took a picture of it. And it looks like he's back at the Terrifier, like same third act setting as the last movie. So I do believe we're going back there at some point. Art the Clown probably picking up his old costume, you know, and he's got to go to the dry cleaners. He's got to take care of that. So I'm just curious to see what ends up happening with all that. Does he kill just like a swarm of cops? Is it something similar to like the opening to Halloween Kills with Michael Myers and the firefighters? I could be into something like that, man. I'm here for it. I'm very much here for it, Darcy. We'll see what ends up happening. But I would love to see something like that. A little Halloween Kills reference in there. That'd be fun, dude. This is so random and I apologize in advance, but have you seen anything about the Minecraft movie? Apparently Jack Black is in it. Jack Black is in it. I believe he's Steve, right? If I'm not mistaken, he's Steve in it. Dude, I'm here for it. I've seen some behind the scenes photos from like the set or whatever. I'm pretty sure that they've been made public at this point, but it was like the square trees and all that from Minecraft. Like some props probably used in like the background of a set or something. Seen some pictures of those. I don't like that motion that I just did. That looks kind of gross, didn't it? But but it was cool. Hey, honestly, I'm excited for it. I thought the Mario movie was fun. You know, was it 10 out of 10 or anything like that? No, but it was fun. And I love seeing Jack Black in more movies. I think he's great. So how can I complain about that? We'll see what else we'll see what they do in this new one though. Ty is saying my theory for The Strangers is similar to the Fear Street movies. I bet anything it will be similar. Each film will have to be different for it to be worth it. See, I totally agree, Ty. I'm with you 100%. I think that with the Fear Street movies, the big draw was the fact that it's like the same town, but totally different years, totally different villains too, across the board in all 3 movies. It made it like a little more fun, but it was like kind of interconnected with all 3 chapters. So I think the same will be true with The Strangers, except I am getting a vibe that their motive has something to do with outsiders coming into this like probably like rundown old middle of nowhere city. I feel like that's going to be part of who these characters are. That's what we're going to explain as being part of their backstory, which I think fits. I think totally fits The Strangers based off the last 2 movies. I think that works for what we're trying to set up here. But I do agree. We got to find a way to make every chapter different. I hope they were able to find that for sure. Scott's saying, Killjoy, how's it going, dog? It's going good. How are you, Scott? Welcome in, man. Welcome in. Dylan saying, fair. The OG Scream has always been my favorite. The first Scream, I think, is the only one I take 100% seriously the entire time. And that's not a dig on the franchise at all. Like, I like that the franchise is larger than life, but I don't know. A lot of the people who were very hard on Screams 5 and 6, I'm just like, are we watching the same movies, man? Like Screams 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all ridiculous at so many different times. Like especially Scream 3 too. Like listen, Scream 6 has some gaps in logic. I get it, and I get why people don't like it. But oh my God, like a house exploded in Scream 3 because it filled up with gas and nobody smelled it. There was like 6 people in there, dog. Like, I don't know. I can't complain about Chad getting stabbed 1,000,000 times and surviving when something like that has happened in a previous movie. I just can't. But I love Scream. I love it. It's so much fun. It's a blast. I love it. These movies are great. They're so fucking silly, so over the top, and so much fun. I mean, they're like the most fun horror films. That is why I've said for the longest time, I'm like, I totally get why this fan base is like die hard, so serious about Scream films. You can't find a more fun horror franchise out there. And that's not a diss. I've seen so many people say like, oh, movies being fun that's a bad thing. No, it's not. The worst thing a movie can be is boring, dude. If your movie's boring, it sucks. None of the Scream movies are boring. There's not a single moment in all 6 of those that is boring, in my opinion. And that's not easy to do, man. That's not an easy thing to do. I think that's awesome. So, Scream rocks. I can't wait for Scream 7. I hope it's good. I really do. I'm hoping for it, Mod Squad. God, I'm hoping for it. What's up, dude? How you doing? What's up, dog? Welcome in. Ty Lee is saying, I would love if Terrifier did their own scene like Halloween Kills, the firefighter scene. Would be sick to see Art do something like that. Have we seen Art kill multiple people? Ooh, man, that's a weird thought I just had. Have we seen Art kill like multiple people all at once? Like more than 2? Because I know we've seen him kill like 2 people at once. I mean, going back to the first movie, we saw that. But I'm talking like, you know, like what you're saying here, Ty. I don't even think we've seen that yet. Okay, Terrifier 3. Maybe this is a really good idea we're stumbling upon here, Ty. I vibe with it, man. Let's run that. Let's see that shit happen. Thomas is saying, I think Scream 7 won't come out till 2026, but I hope it's sooner. I wouldn't be shocked if it was sooner. I do think they want to kind of ride the high of Screams 5 and 6 a little bit. Like, I honestly do think it's going to come out in 2025. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Probably not like, you know, don't expect it in like January of 2025, like Scream 5. I'm expecting it more so in like maybe summer or fall of 2025. If they are filming this summer, which is not confirmed, by the way. If they are filming this summer, then yeah, I think I could see that happening. Like maybe coming out in like May or June or something of next year. That wouldn't be too crazy. I think out of, you know, all the horror films coming out in the next couple of years, I think Scream is definitely going to be one of the bigger releases for sure. So Charlotte's saying, I think they went too far with Chad. Scream 6 almost became the best sequel, and it would have been if they actually killed some of them off. I do agree with that. I do think it was a little held its punches a little too much. I think Radio Silence didn't want to go down as the people who killed 2 of the best characters in Scream. I think that's probably what it ended up coming down to, especially with, you know, Gail living through what probably should have been her death sequence. I think that's kind of what it was. I think they just didn't want to be like, oh, we killed the best characters and left. They didn't want that criticism. But I think they should have killed Chad. I love Chad. Chad's a great character, but man, that death sequence was so that like, oh, when I thought he died, I was like, oh no, that sucks. But I guess I felt the same way about Dewey in part 2. So, and he came back. So I don't know. We got the Scream 5 and 6 haters in the chat that I see. Listen, I respect it. Hey, we respect everyone's opinions around here, but I don't know, man. I think they're all fun. They're all fun movies, man. Gabe Houghton throwing $10 out there. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate the support. Killjoy Jake, you got the to see Secret Santa. It's a crazy B movie. Is it like Secret Santa in real life? Like where someone gets you a random gift and you also have to get a random gift that they may or may not like? Shit's crazy. I'm here for it though. I'm Secret Santa. I'm looking it up. I appreciate the 10, by the way, man. Thank you so much. Secret Santa horror movie. 2017. Bam! An unknown assailant spikes a family's Christmas punch with a military-grade drug, leaving them fighting to survive the night. That's actually fucking sick. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty cool plot synopsis. Damn. That is the worst Secret Santa gift I've ever heard of. But that's kind of sweet. 61% from the audience on Rotten Tomatoes. That's really the only Rotten Tomatoes score that I care about personally. So interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Okay. Okay. I'm into it. Got to read the bloody disgusting on all that. I'm curious. Okay, Gabe. You got my interest there. I got to check this out. Secret Santa. Come December, I bet this would be a really good watch. Watching it as we get into summer might be a little weird, but I'm here for it, man. Christmas in July, baby. Run it. Gabe, thank you for the 10, man. Thank you for supporting the page, too. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a KillJoy cult member, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for the 10. Scream is saying the movie Abigail deserves better. It did. It's going to be on VOD this week, so go give it a watch if you haven't seen it yet. It fucking rocked, and it just did not make any money, which sucks. Abigail was so much fun, man. I don't know. Again, another movie I just had a blast with. It was so funny, so bloody, so gory. Had some great characters, too. If you like character-driven movies, oh my god, Abigail was so good. So much fun stuff. But I don't know. I had a blast with Abigail. I think it was easily one of my favorite movies from this year. Scott's saying there's definitely nothing boring in the Scream films. Again, you know, does the plot work in all of them? No, but they're not boring, man. They're not boring movies. They got a lot going for them. Scott Royston's gifting 5 KillJoy Jake memberships. Ships, not shits. Holy crap. Thanks, Scott. Thank you. Mr. Rick was gifted a membership. Mr. P.I. Staker was gifted one. King Parham, TJ Sanders, and Denisha Lane. Oh my god, that's awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Scott, I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for the memberships. Thanks for the little gift, dude. Appreciate you. No, that's awesome. And Infinite Sky's asking a really good question here. Was Abigail more comedy or horror? I think it definitely was more comedy over like something being like scary, you know, because like horror can mean a lot of things, right? But it was definitely more comedic than scary for sure. But there is some really crazy, gross out moments and a few scary moments here and there, which I liked. So it is very much so a horror comedy. You know, it's not leaning one way or the other too much, which I appreciated. But I would say, you know, maybe the glass is a little more full on the comedy side for sure. So I don't know. I loved it. And I'll tell you what, horror comedies, they usually don't work for me. Like I'm so not into horror comedies half the time. It takes a lot for me to be really impressed by them. But the Scream movies work really well for me and they're pretty comedic. Abigail really worked for me, which was great. I'm trying to think, like Shaun of the Dead is up there, Cabin in the Woods. But man, there's a lot of them that I'm just not crazy about. I mean, like I love Happy Death Day, but Happy Death Day to You, I don't know. I think it's interesting story-wise, but a lot of the humor does not work for me in that film. I'm trying to think what else. There's a lot of good horror comedies, man, but there are also a lot of bad ones. They're very hit or like I either love them or I can't stand them. There's just no in between with horror comedies. But that's one I liked. That's one I vibed with. Darcy is saying I actually really liked Scream 6, 5 not so much. I liked how it was weirdly an action movie with all of the fight sequences and action. Also, that subway scene needs more credit. The costumes. I agree, 6 rocked. I liked 6 over 5 as well. 5 is fun. 5 is fun. It just hits on a lot of familiar beats again. Lot of stuff that the first movie did. Scott is saying welcome to the fold, everybody who just joined. Hell yeah, thank you, Scott. Thank you again for that. Appreciate you, man. Dan Stevens is crushing it this year. His character in Abigail was top notch. I couldn't agree more. That's the biggest thing about Abigail, you know, without spoiling anything. The characters are like the best. It's the best horror ensemble in a horror movie all year. It really is. As much as there are other movies I liked more than Abigail this year. Like it's not my number one. But the ensemble is what makes that movie something just truly special across the board. Every character is used really well. It's hard for me to say that when Giancarlo Esposito only had like 2-3 minutes of screen time, but still, everybody was used pretty much. Almost everybody was used really well. I loved it though. Great ensemble, great characters, awesome stuff. And look at that, we got a goofball out there in the chat. What's up, Tyler? How you doing? KillJoy Jake is the perfect balance of horror and comedy. I want Jake to make my glass entirely full. God damn. Damn. Is that a threat or a promise? Because I'm coming over. What's up, man? How you doing? We love seeing Fate out there in the chat. I hope Fate's doing good. He's talking about basketball these days. Them damn Lakers. I love seeing it though, man. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good, dog. Scream is saying I'm trying to find an old horror thing I watched, but I can't find it anywhere. It's so annoying. Dude, I had the same experience recently with a movie called Rogue, which I had no idea what the name of this movie was at the time, but I remembered this movie about a CGI crocodile, and these characters were trapped on some kind of weird little piece of land, and like the river was slowly rising. They had to get off of it. I couldn't remember the movie for the life of me, but I found it recently. It's a movie from Greg McLean called Rogue, and I watched it again, and it was, just bliss. I was so happy to have found that movie, because I watched it when I was a kid, and it's kind of how I fell in love with animal horror just in general. Like, I loved that movie to death, and then I watched Jaws, and I'm like, oh my god, this is sick. But Rogue was like the first movie I saw in that category, and it was great. It's very good stuff. So, no, I know the feeling, Scream. I know the feeling. Ruthie, what's up, Ruthie? How you doing? Hey, Jay, great to see you. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We're talking a little Scream, little Terrifier, a little bit about 2006's Rogue. You know, the movie that obviously we're going to be talking about the most here on this channel. So welcome in. Throw out there whatever you want to talk about. I'm so curious. Jordan, what's up, Jordan? How you doing? Nice profile picture. I see Michael in there. He's hanging out. I vibe with it. What's up, dude? Just ordered my Twisted Tea just in time, Jake. What movie are you excited for the most? I love it, dude. I love that. Scream 7 or The Strangers Chapter 1? I'm leaning for The Strangers. You know, Scream is one of my favorite franchises ever, so I'm always going to be maybe the most excited for a new Scream film. But I am excited for Strangers Chapter 1. I also feel like I don't know enough about Scream 7. You know, I feel like I don't know enough about it to be like really over the moon. Like when Scream 5 got announced with radio silence, brand new people tackling the franchise, that to me was so exciting. I'm like, I love radio silence. Like Ready or Not fucking rocked. And I remember it was like 2020 when we got this news, I think. Or it was after Ready or Not at some point. I had just seen Ready or Not. I'm like, I fucking loved that movie. That was great. And then seeing that they're tackling Scream, that was so exciting. I was like, I'm over the moon about this. This is great. But now, you know, with everything that we know about Scream 7, which is very, very little, and preceding it with a controversy, it's tough for me to be like over the moon excited about Scream 7. It's the only Scream film thus far in my entire time of being on this planet that I haven't been like, oh my god, so excited for once all that happened. I think when it first got announced, I was kind of like, oh fuck yeah, let's go, you know. But then everything else that's happened, it's really put a damper on my excitement, I guess. But I'm still here for it, man. I'm still excited to see what they end up doing with it. I really hope it's good. I really hope it's something worth our time. We're dealing with some big fish here, man. We're dealing with Sidney Prescott in the lead role of a Scream film again. There's so much there, dude. So much going on. So I hope they get it right, I guess is my point. Strangers Chapter 1, though, another movie where I have my concerns. You know, a lot of the bigger studio horrors, I always get a little nervous around. Especially when it's something like in The Strangers case where, you know, this is a movie that was kind of just like this weird little indie film that Glenn Howerton for some reason shows up in, which I love. It's just this little tiny weird slasher indie home invasion flick, right? And it goes on to have a sequel like 8 years later, and now we're doing 3 fucking movies, turning it into this gigantic big franchise. I just hope it's good. I hope we're not giving it the full studio treatment where it's like, we're just gonna give the people what we think they like. And you know, the truth of it is, when you make a good movie, or if you make a movie that people love, it's not because you were thinking to yourself, oh, this is what people like. You're thinking, what's the best story I can possibly write? If you go, studios a lot of the times like to get their hands in things and be like, well, people like this more, people like that more, you know? We're looking at the algorithm and it's saying this. No, shut the fuck up and just write a movie and make it good. Like, stop trying to make everything work for every single person who's going to watch it. Just make a good movie. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And I hope that's what happens with Strangers Chapter 1, but I don't know. It feels like a movie that's just hitting on the beats of the first film. I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope it's setting up this big, grand, awesome story that doesn't explain too much, but is fun at the same time. As you can see, I'm very conflicted on both of those projects, but I am excited for them nonetheless. I kind of love living in this anticipation of, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? I don't know. It has me excited more than anything. So don't get me wrong. Even though I have my concerns, I am very excited for these projects. Trayvon King, what's up, dude? Hey, Jake, did you see the Boys Season 4 trailer? I'm talking about it in my video tomorrow. Hell yeah, dog. I saw it. It was awesome. I take a long time editing things these days. You know, I know some people kind of just record themselves saying like, here's the update. Cool. I like to put jokes in there. I write a script. I like to edit shit because I'm a perfectionist and it's exhausting. I hate it. I love how you still have that decapitated head on your mic. You're goddamn right. Yeah, Ash lives with me now. Whenever we stream, I always got a little piece of the Evil Dead right here. I can't remember who it was, but somebody gave me like the NECA figure or whatever for Ash, and for whatever reason they just had his head. Like not the body, just the head. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep him right there. He's right there. Ash's head lives on my mic stand. It's great stuff. Do you think we will get a sequel to Immaculate? I don't think we need a sequel to Immaculate. I kind of like where we left that off. With the greatest horror movie ending in 4 years. Dear God. Listen, I don't know, man. I have seen a lot of movies this year, and a lot of them were really impressive. Late Night with the Devil, Infested, were very much so up there. Towards the top of my lists in terms of horror movies. But the ending to Immaculate, like, I lost my mind. I couldn't believe it ended the way it did. I've not been so blown away by an ending to a horror film in a very long time. And I see like every single one that goes to theaters. Immaculate fucking rocks. I loved this movie from start to finish. It is edited so well. I love the editing. The technical side of this movie is so impressive. I don't know. I was blown away. It's a 10 out of 10. I loved it. I wouldn't change a damn thing about it. I want to see it like 100 more times. I want to buy it. So good. It came out right when we were in pre-production for the short film we're making. So I wanted to go to the theater like at least 2 more times to see it. I just never had time. But as soon as that one hits like 4K, Blu-ray, whatever, I'm buying it. Like that's the first film all year where I'm like, I have to put that on my shelf. Like that is such a must buy for me. I loved Immaculate to death. And if you have not seen it, it is one of the most brutal horror films of the year thus far. I loved everything about it. It's everything the first Omen wanted to be and more. Hot take. But no, great stuff. Great stuff, man. Great stuff from that one. Ty Lee is saying we always forget Smile 2 is coming this fall. That's another one I'm really excited about. I enjoyed the first Smile. I don't know if it was my favorite from the year it came out. Don't forget, that was 2022, one of the best years for horror. I'll die on that hill. Smile 2, though, I'm hyped for it, man. I'm excited to see what it's all about. We have a lot of very interesting characters in it, too. We have like a pop star is going to be like the lead character, a fictional pop star. And I cannot remember the actress's name that's playing her. But we also have Kyle Gallner coming back from the first movie, who's going to be in Smile 2. I don't know, man. There's a lot to be excited for with that movie. The plot description makes it out to be a totally different animal than the first movie, which again has me excited. Big criticism for that first one was that it was too similar to movies like The Ring, Drag Me to Hell, It Follows, yada yada, where it's kind of like you have this curse on you that you can't beat kind of thing, and you have so long before it comes for you. I don't know. I'm excited for it, man. I think it's going to be fun. I think they found some ways to differentiate themselves from those other properties and kind of make it its own thing, even more than the first movie does. So I'm excited to see it. Excited to see what they do. Ty Lee can't wait for Late Night with the Devil, the Blu-ray Steelbook. Honestly, that's another one I think I would buy. Late Night with the Devil was really interesting. I don't know if it was horror movie of the year, horror movie of the decade, like a lot of people are saying, but I really do like it. I really did enjoy the film. I don't know if I could. I got to see it again. I definitely have to see that one again because I don't know if the ending really did it for me. It wasn't anything like, it's not that bad. It's just some creative choices that I don't know if I really got behind 100%. But it's an interesting movie nonetheless. I've never seen another movie like it. It is without a doubt original. No denying that. I've never seen another movie quite like it. It's really interesting. I don't know. I loved it, Ty. It's a great movie. Julie is saying, I'm a sucker for 2000s curse movies. I love them too. The Ring fucking rocks. I love The Ring. I even like The Ring 2. And it's not very good. I still love it. The Grudge is also great. Actually, both of those movies, the remakes and the originals, are great, in my opinion. The Ring is so frustrating to me, because I think that... Here's the thing about The Ring. Here's my hot take about it. The original version, I think, is better, like, on paper. But there are so many things about the remake that I fucking love. That is, like, the version everyone has seen with the jump scare at the beginning and all that. The original movie doesn't... The jump scare does not hit as hard. But not at all. They did it way better in the American version, in my opinion. But, oh my God, the American version of that movie... I mean, it is beat for beat for beat, down to the most minute detail, the same thing as the original film. And it bugs me a little bit. I'm like, what? Why didn't they do, they didn't do, there's so many opportunities they could have taken to make it like entirely their own thing. But really the only thing that's different about like the 2000s remake of The Ring is the fact that they kind of have like this whole new look for its main antagonist. There's a slightly different backstory, which I think actually the original does better. And the jump scares are so much better in The Ring, the remake of The Ring versus the original. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm so conflicted. It is kind of almost a shot for shot remake of the original, but they do change up enough to where I'm like, I don't think I can say it's a shot for shot remake. There's enough that's changed where I'm like, okay, whatever, The Ring. But it's funny. Watch the original and then watch the 2000s movie again. Like it's crazy how similar they are. And I know it's the same source material, but come on, man. Like, come on, dog. Do some things differently. Chewbacca is saying, have you seen Boy Kills World? It's amazing gory action, dystopian fun. If I have time this week, I'm getting in the theaters and I'm doing it. Because I've been meaning to watch that one for like pretty much since it came out. I can't believe I went to the theater to see Tarot and I didn't even do a review on it. But I missed this one. I'm honestly sad. This is the movie that's in theaters right now that I'm dying to see. I want to watch it. So I gotta check that out. I haven't seen the new Godzilla, but I don't think that's in theaters anymore. Or maybe it is and I'm just forgetting. I kind of want to see that too. I'm not gonna lie. But honestly, the next movie I'm probably gonna have time to see in theaters is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I'm a huge Planet of the Apes fan. So I'm very excited for this one. I hope it's good. I really liked the last... I can't... What was it? Like War for the Planet of the Apes? Is that the last one? Like Woody Harrelson? I loved that movie. That was awesome. So very excited for Kingdom. And I might be able to catch Boy Kills World beforehand. If I can. Honestly, if there's a showing and I have time, I think I'm doing it. Julie is saying, I've heard Red Letter Media and Dead Meat say that Late Night with the Devil is super inspired by 90s BBC movie Ghostwatch. I've heard of this movie. I've never watched it. I know it's a similar idea where it's like a broadcast live on TV and then shit, paranormal shit starts happening. But I think the thing about Late Night with the Devil that makes it stand out so much, and I've seen movies like that. What's the WNUF Halloween special is very similar to that. But the thing that makes Late Night with the Devil so different, something that stands on its own, is the way that it flows. Like you're cutting in between segments of the show versus what's happening behind the scenes, and then that's kind of like you get into a certain groove with it that to me felt very, I don't know, just very original. I was like, I've never seen another movie that flows the way that Late Night with the Devil does. That to me was the biggest like, whoa, oh, interesting. But I definitely need to see this Ghostwatch. Maybe it is the same thing. And I just don't know any better. But I've heard good things about Ghostwatch. I heard it actually fooled people. Like people thought it was real. It was something that was actually happening when it premiered. So that's cool. I don't know. That to me is really interesting. It's a great story, if nothing else. Hybrid Gamer is saying, what do you think about Lois and Murphy from Scream 3 being in Scream 7's Ghostface cult? Murphy was the killer in the original Urban Legend movie, and she was phenomenal. I don't know how many people I want to see coming back from Scream 3. I've seen, I feel like, so here's the tough thing about all this. I feel like if we bring a character back, they got to be somebody who's really worth it. Somebody who's worth it from, especially Scream 3, which, yes, is it like one of the most successful movies in the whole franchise? Sure, but it's easily the worst reviewed. And I know, I'm stepping on some toes here because people love Scream 3. They're like, it's my favorite movie. It's the best one. What are you talking about? Scream 3 is the best. It's amazing. Okay, I respect it. But critics don't agree with you, and that's all good. Fuck the critics, honestly. Let's make up our own opinions. That's what matters more than anything, in my opinion. But I just don't think a studio. I don't think a studio would be like, let's get this random character from Scream 3 to be in there. I mean, I guess they are doing that with Mark Kincaid, even though it's not confirmed yet. But Radio Silence, or I guess I should say the writers of Scream 5, kind of put them in that, cornered them into doing something like that. And also Patrick Dempsey's a big star now. I mean, we got him in a bunch of horror movies. That makes sense. Makes sense to put him in something like this. He was just in Thanksgiving, for Christ's sake. Makes sense to put him in Scream 7, even though, again, that's not confirmed yet. It's just rumored. Courtney Cox isn't even confirmed to be in Scream 7 yet, for Christ's sake. It's crazy. So nothing is confirmed about this movie, which is nuts. But what I think is that if we put somebody in there, it's got to be worth it. It's got to be something that's worth it's got to be worth putting in an old character and would be worth having to rewatch that movie for the general audience. You know, that's another thing too we got to think about. It's not just going to be Scream fans in that theater when Scream 7 premieres. It's also going to be a bunch of randoms who are like, what's the Scream franchise up to now? I haven't seen them since I saw Scream 6 in the theaters in 2023, you know? So I think it's got to be someone really like a big standout. I think the only person from Scream 3 besides Mark that I would want to see in Scream 7, which this is probably a hot take, is Parker Posey's character, because she's such a standout. But of course, she does die in that movie, so I don't know. I think if she was still alive, she was still out there in the world somewhere after Scream 3, I'd be like, fucking put her in there. She's such a standout. Like, yeah, why not? But I don't know. And you're also talking about the Ghostface cult. Are they going to go down that route? Either. I'm here for it. I'm here for the Ghostface cult. We kind of did that in the last movie, though. We have a whole family of killers. I mean, you know, that's not different word for it. You know, we're not using the word cult. We're using the word family. So Dom Toretto would be really happy. Dom Toretto's favorite Scream movie is Scream 6. I don't even have to ask him. Wait, the killers are family? He's driving to the movie theater all crazy, chaotic. I would kill to see that, actually. That's what I want to see in Scream 7. Dom Toretto furiously and fastly driving to the movie theater because he hears the killers are family. He sees the leaks from Scream 6. That's fucked up. That's funny. Oh my God. Don't forget about Star Wars coming back to theaters. Yeah, Phantom Menace is back in theaters, I guess. That's exciting. I don't know I don't know if I'm crazy about Phantom Menace, but it's not a bad movie. I think I talked about this on stream last time. I don't think it's a bad movie. I actually really enjoy it, but it's not a necessary movie at all. It's kind of one of those movies where I'm like, I didn't need to see a whole movie about this, but it's cool. It's cool nonetheless. I like it. Hybrid Gamer is saying, I'm also a small-time YouTuber and would love to collaborate with you. How would I go about getting in contact with you? Hit me up on my email, because I actually don't have notifications on for like my social media. And because when I did have my notifications on, I was doing this all the time, just looking at my phone. And I hated that. I was like, wow, I'm so depressed for some reason. Why is that? And it's because I was looking at social media every 5 seconds. So I don't have notifications on for like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, yada, yada. Shoot me an email though, and I will get in contact with you, my friend. That's all listed on my page. So shoot me something. Make it happen. Nick Push's horror channel saying, hey, Jake and everyone. What's up, Nick Push or Push? The CH is really fucking me up. What's up, Nick? How you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Scream is asking, any tips on how to find a horror movie that you can't find? I really want to rewatch it as it's one of the first horror things I've watched. Well, you know, Scream, you have an entire community here with horror fans. Describe it to us. Throw it out there in the chat. We'll try to help you out. I might not be able to help you out, but also we got 54 people here. Who knows? Maybe they've seen it. So I'm curious. I'm curious if we can figure that out for you. Because I'm not gonna lie, that's how I found Rogue. Like, I was asking people about, like, because I was like, I can't remember what this movie is, but it's like a crocodile movie, and it takes place like on this island, and like the water's slowly rising. I asked somebody like during a live stream once, and they were like, oh dude, that's like Greg McLean's movie from 2006 or whatever. And I'm like, what? No way. And I looked it up, I watched it, I'm like, fuck yes, let's go, dude. It was awesome. It was a great moment, Scream. So describe the film, we will help you out. You hear that? All 57 of you? Yeah, we got an obligation now. We got to help Scream out. Got to figure this out, dude. It's good stuff. Mary Penna is excited. Holy crap, shit about Furiosa and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Tarot, also Insidious, The Red Door. You just listed a bunch of movies. Hell yeah, dog. I'm excited for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and Furiosa, though. Both coming out this month. I will likely be covering them. I know they're not horror. I don't care. They're sci-fi at the very least. Come on now. That's adjacent. Kind of. I want to talk about them. I don't care. I'm excited for both of those. Daniel K, what's up, dude? Hashtag bring back Joel. Okay, now that's someone I can get behind. You want to talk about a memorable character from the Scream films? Give me Joel. Give me Joel or give me death. I would love to see him come back and then also dip out again. That would be so funny. You know what else would be really funny? If that happened and then people complained about it. They're like, why didn't Joel die? What? Why did he live? That doesn't make any sense. And like, they clearly don't get the joke. That would be kind of funny. I would crack up about that. Have I seen Goodnight Mommy? Yes, that fucking rocks. I never saw the remake from like last year, I think, but oh, that movie was gross. The movie was fucked up, dudes. Thomas C is saying Scream versus The Strangers crossover movie. If it ever happened, would you watch? It's tough to do a crossover movie with Scream, right? Because like Scream has always been more about the protagonists than the killers. I would be very into something like that, but we would need some killers to go off of here. Or maybe it's the protagonists, you know, maybe it's Sidney Prescott going up against the strangers who happen to come up to her door. Maybe that's the case. I love Freddy versus Jason, man. So I'm not against nothing goofy like that. We need more scenes like that with Dom in a Scream movie, kind of like the T-1000 was in Wayne's World 2 looking for John Connor. Oh my God, that's so funny. Could you see Dom like running over Ghostface at the end of the movie? You guys are family. I'm here to help. I'd lose my mind. I'd lose my mind, man. What's my breakdown of The Boys Season 4 trailer? I think there's a lot of interesting things to talk about with it. So there's two big things that I really grabbed onto there. We had the introduction of there's some kind of virus that's able to take down soups. That is obviously going to be a huge part of this new season. I believe they said that there's going to be a season 4 and a season 5 too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. Have not been keeping up with The Boys as much as I probably should have been, because I'm a big fan of it. Really like seasons 1, 2, and 3. But I know they're doing Gen V season 2, so like it would make sense if they were leading that up all up to a season 5. My thoughts are that this is probably we're probably starting to get into the end game, which I'm not making a joke or anything like that. I'm being dead serious, I swear. Getting into the end game of this series and story about how the soups are gonna, or how our main characters are gonna have some kind of fighting chance against them. It seems like it's gonna be this whatever this virus is that can take down the soups. But obviously, right there, you know, it's not so easy as, oh, let's just release this virus out into the world and kill everybody who has the, you know, the serum in them, which I can't remember the name of it because it's been so long since I watched fucking season 3. But I like. Because, you know, the problem there is there are a lot of good soups out there in the world. So you can't just release that, you know what I mean? You can't just put that out into the world. That's going to be a moral dilemma, I imagine, in season 4. We also know that Butcher is dying. So I think season 4 will end with that. With his death. If it's, you know, triumphant or not. But then again, I could see him, you know, injecting himself with the fucking shit, the serum, and turning himself into a superhero because he's just like, well, I'm going to die if I don't do this. Turning into the thing that he hates the most to stop Homelander and everybody else. That could be fun. There's a lot from that trailer that's got my brain, got the cogs working. I'm like, what's going to happen here? It's interesting though. Interesting nonetheless. I'm excited for it. Wendy Murray is with us. What's up, Wendy? How's it going? Hi. Hello. Welcome in. Jason Rushman is saying, my birthday is Wednesday. Jake, will you be streaming? I will be, Jason. We'll be talking about The Strangers on Wednesday. So come on by. We'll wish you a happy birthday, man. Thanks for being here, Jason. Happy early birthday as well. Welcome. Jimmy Voorhees is here. What's up, dog? How you doing? I like that you got Jason Voorhees in the profile picture there. The video game version. I vibe with it. What's your email? You know what? Let me check something. Is it displayed? It should be displayed on my little about page. If it's not, I'm gonna be sad. It is there. Okay. Yeah, so it's killjoyjake1@gmail.com. Yeah, it's there. Okay. I'm like, for a second, I was like, wait, is it not there? Yeah, killjoyjake1@gmail. Shoot me an email if you want to collab. Or if you got like a movie recommendation or something, just send it my way. I'll get to it. Still need to watch The Boys, says Stupid Fizz. Give it a watch. It's really good. I really enjoyed it. Rotting Prince is saying, howdy, Jake. What would you do if you had to make Scream 7? Just curious. If I had to make Scream 7 with everything we know about it so far, we know that Sydney's in the lead role. We know that, it's probably going to center around her family. Ghostface is coming after them. The biggest thing I would want to do is just make the killers good. I always feel like in so many of the Scream movies, that idea is just tossed to the side. They're like, whatever, the killers can beat whoever. This is more about the protagonists beating them. And I get that. I do. Scream is a little more triumphant. It's a little more, like, let's just have a really good time with this crazy ass horror movie. And then we're going to have this big happy ending at the end. You got to have that. It's a staple. It's a staple of the Scream franchise. Sure. Don't get me wrong. But I really think that, if I'm making Scream 7, I want to make a Ghostface that you fucking hate. Like they are fucking evil. They're awful, awful people. Something that's fresh too. Something that you can't even compare it to anything from the past. I think a really easy way to do that too is just have a motive that's something similar, more so to something like Seven or fucking one of these more like noir thrillers. You know what I mean? Versus looking back at any of the past Scream movies, we're so obsessed with family members being killers. The majority of the time, that's been the case in almost every Scream film. Like it's been somebody's family members. I'm just hoping that they do something interesting with the killer this time around. That's my biggest, absolute number one big thing that I would want to change about the franchise as a whole is just making the killers a little more interesting. Easily the most interesting ones are Billy and Stu from the first movie, and even their motive revolves a little bit around family. But it's not the biggest thing about why they're killing. You know what I mean? There's so much more to it than just that. So that's what makes it interesting to me. That's what I love about it. I really want to. I just really want some good killers. I want to. Honestly, that's the biggest thing that could save the movie. If the whole thing is just so like, if it's so Scream 4 in its nature, with the story that it has around Sydney, it feels a little repetitive there. They can save the whole thing by having a good killer reveal with a good motive, and that's okay. To answer your question, finally, to get all the runaround to the side, what would I do if I were to make Scream 7? I would make the motive really good. I would make the motive something that has never been done before in the franchise. And I don't even care if they don't fool me with who Ghostface is. I don't care about that at this point. I want the motive to be good and work with the story at hand. More than anything. I don't care if I'm able to guess the killer. I didn't care in Scream 6. What I cared more about was finding out what the motive is. That to me is going to tie everything up in a big, nice, neat little bow or not and completely make the whole ship sink. So let's see that happen, Rotting Prince. Good Ghostface motive, that is gonna make the movie for me personally. I'm not gonna be fooled at this point. You know what I mean? You're not gonna fool me with the big killer reveal. Oh, it was that person the whole time? It was the biggest star in the movie? I'm shocked. What? Come on now. We know it's probably going to be that, but I want a good motive. Biggest thing for me. What do you think of Sydney as the killer? Big plot twist. Wes Craven made a joke about that in every single Scream movie, every single Scream sequel that he directed. So I think that would be very, very not Wes Craven to do that. And that's kind of not the vibe, bro. It's kind of not the vibe. I don't know. I don't think Sydney being the killer would work. May Ann is saying, hey, Jake and everyone. What's up, May Ann? How you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. Talking a little Scream. Talking a little Strangers. Maybe even Terrifier. I just got the best crack in my neck. Oh, damn. Whew. Oh, that was nice. I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but damn. That hit all the right spots. What's up, May Ann? How you doing? For the love of rock. What's up, dog? How you doing? If I was making Scream 7, Sydney would die. Goddamn. Goddamn, dude. I gave you that introduction and you went off the rails with it. I'm just kidding. What's up, man? Talk about a Scream movie with stakes, and that would be something a Scream movie never did before. It would beat her surviving yet another set of ghost faces. See, I just don't see Scream ever getting that dark. That's my big thing about it. I also don't think Neve Campbell would want to make that movie. We know she doesn't want to really do a Scream movie where Sidney dies. She really wants to keep Sidney alive. She said that, like, you know, at a lot of Comic-Cons and conventions and all that she's been to, a lot of the people that talk to her are like, I love Sidney Prescott. Like, she represents coming over, you know, getting over trauma. So to see Sidney die, I just think would kind of ruin all that, really, really blur those lines. So I don't think we're ever going to see Sidney die for that reason, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to see Sidney die, though. And I don't know if I'm looking for that. I want to see some dark shit happen in a Scream movie. I want to see Sidney go through something. I don't want it to be all, like, you know, on the other side of that coin, I don't want it to be just a cakewalk for Sidney. That would be no fun. You know, why are we doing a movie then? I think if we see a Sidney Prescott like how we did in Scream 5, where she kind of just like, psh, I'm coming in here. I'm just going to shoot through doors. This is going to be easy. I don't know about that. I don't want to see that. I want to see Sidney go through some shit, dude. Like, I want to see, you know, Ghostface almost like maybe kill some of her friends and shit. You know, I want to see some loss happen here. But I want Sidney to overcome it overall at the end of it. I think about one of my favorite movies of all time is Spider-Man 2 from Sam Raimi. I love that movie to death. And I actually think it's a really good blueprint for a good horror movie, believe it or not. Because you have this main character, Peter Parker, who is struggling. I mean, everything that happens to that guy in that movie until the very end is fucking horrible. Like, this guy is having the worst couple of months of his entire fucking life. And then finally, he gets Doc Ock in the end. I mean, it's like, if you watch the director's cut, it takes a while too, man. And it's like, oh shit, this dude is going through some shit. But then finally he gets there, he overcomes it, and it is so much more triumphant because of all that. Can't have sunshine without a little rain, as they say. Film Gamer X is saying, what's up, Jake? What are your thoughts on an Art versus Pennywise film one day? Well, you know, we do have, we've had Damien Leone say multiple times that Art the Clown is a little Pennywise inspired, but also trying to be something different, not trying to be the same horror clown that we already got in, you know, in the It films. So I don't know. I think this could work because they are both supernatural clowns. But would it be weird? Would it be something that would actually make sense? Because I think I view Art the Clown as more of like this slasher killer versus like a clown. Like, obviously he is a clown, of course. But Pennywise is more so like this clown alien that kills kids. They're just totally different styles of horror, I guess is my thing. But then again, so is Jason and Freddy. So, and that worked for a lot of people. So why not do Art versus Pennywise? Why the hell not? It sounds like fun. I'm honestly here for it. I think it could be cool. You'd pretty much have to set it in Derry. But what's wrong with that? Art the Clown goes to Derry, Maine. And just so happens during this time period that Pennywise is hungry. But Art the Clown is killing all the people that Pennywise would usually eat. And he's like, what the fuck? The fuck's going on, Arthur? You're in my turf, buddy. I'd like to see those two fight. That would be funny. Because, you know, here's the other thing about these two. Pennywise talks a lot. He's got a motor mouth. Art the Clown does not. There is these are good adversaries, I think. They're different enough from each other, yet similar in many ways that I think it could work. So I vibe with it. I vibe with that a lot. That could be fun. Let's see if Terrifier can get big enough to where it's like out of the indie scene, so big to the point that we could fight Pennywise. That could be cool. Forever mad that Tatum never lived. Tatum's a great character, man, but her death is iconic. CM Chunk is saying the fact that she doesn't want Sidney to die makes it unlikely she'll ever be revealed as Ghostface. Yeah, that's also part of it too. But I don't know. Do we want that? Do we want Sidney as Ghostface? Like, I just don't know if that would. I don't know if that would work for me. I've pitched that in the past. Like, my first Scream video ever was like, what if Sidney was Ghostface? But then I learned a little more about the franchise, and I'm just like, I don't know if that works. You know, I don't know if that really is the vibe. But I don't know, man. I mean, to each their own, of course. But I don't know if I want to see Sidney die or become Ghostface. I think she like deserves a happy ending. Should just kind of ride out into the sunset at some point. But it doesn't mean don't want her to see her go through more trauma. You know what I mean? Which is so upsetting to say, but it's like, that's what makes the character great. It's what makes a lot of our protagonists great, is they're going through some shit, dude. Art takes ayahuasca, then obliterates Pennywise. You know what? I would make that movie just to see Art the Clown take ayahuasca. I'm here for it. I'm very here for it. I'd prefer Ash versus Art and the Evil Dead. That's actually pretty cool. Ash Williams fighting Art the Clown, and you find out that Art the Clown is something from the Necronomicon, which is so Jason Goes to Hell, but I don't care. I could get into something like that. That could be fun. Yeah, why the hell not? That's fucking great, dude. Oh, shit. Oh, well, we got some updates today. Though I don't know if you guys heard about all the updates. But we got some new pictures from Maxine, which confirms a brand new rumor. I'll see if I can get these up on stream. I did want to talk about this a little bit before my video tomorrow, where I pitch a little theory. Oh, do I got those somewhere, actually? So we got a picture of Sophie Thatcher, who's in the film. She's playing a makeup artist, which I think is pretty cool. And she's doing a cast of Maxine's head for the Puritan 2, which is like the faux movie that they're filming within a movie. But this has been a rumor for a long time, though, that Sophie Thatcher would be in this film and she would be doing all this. So there you go. Here's a little still from it. Entertainment Weekly just gave us this. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see if like we actually get to see them filming this fake movie as well, like the Puritan 2. Like, I think that's sick. I think that'd be really fun to watch. We also got another still of Elizabeth Debicki, whose last name I can't stop saying, playing Elizabeth Bender here. She's with Maxine. They're looking up at something. I think that's kind of cool. We also got this bloody new shot of Kevin Bacon, which I'm only putting on the screen for 1, 2, and 3. There you go. A lot of people think he's the killer. I don't think he's the killer. He's looking like he's very hurt there, and getting fucked up. So I think the killer is going to viciously brutalize the Baconator here. And then we also got Maxine just walking down the street with the X Factor in the background. Love that little set piece. Very cool stuff. Talk about a movie that I'm very excited for, though. I cannot wait for Maxine. It is towards the top of my list in terms of horror films I'm excited for this year. I really think, like Terrifier 3 is, of course, at the top. Alien Romulus under that, then Maxine. Like, for the rest of the year, things I'm the most excited for. I don't know. Those three, I think, are going to be some of my favorite horror films of the year. I can't wait for it. The release schedule only gets crazier as we go into the year. We're kind of in the thick of big releases right now, which is great, but it doesn't stop until October, pretty much. There's something almost every couple of weeks until the end of October now that I'm excited for. So it's shaping up to be a really good year. Lots of good stuff. Who knows what's going to be the big fan favorite across the board? I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you what's going to be the biggest thing. Although Alien Romulus looks really fucking good. So I don't know. Very excited for that one. Maxine, though, I think Maxine's gonna. I think a lot of people are gonna be out here saying Maxine's like their favorite from the whole X trilogy. I really can see that happening. I'm already seeing people who are more excited by this trailer than they were for Pearl and X, which I think is interesting. People are like, "Oh, that trailer, that's my vibe. Like, I like that. I like that more than anything that was going on in X and Pearl." And I'm like, "Ooh, really? Okay." I've heard that take a couple of times, and it's interesting to me. Ella's saying, Jake, did you get a haircut? Looking clean. Thank you. I appreciate that. I actually was literally just saying to myself, I need to get a haircut, but I actually washed myself today. So, so there was that. So thank you. Thank you, Ella. Yeah, no, I gotta get a haircut. It's getting long. You can see the little straggler right there, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you. Thank you. Hey Jake, are you excited for the MCU Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, Zendaya filming this September? I like the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. They're fun, but I don't know. Nothing will ever beat the Sam Raimi trilogy for me personally. Those are my Spider-Man movies. But Tom Holland kills it, man. He's awesome. I really like all three of those, honestly. I haven't been super crazy about, later MCU movies, as you guys know, but honestly, those were always big bright spots, in my opinion. I really like Far From Home and No Way Home as well. Both of those were good. Both of those were fun. So I'm excited to see what they do with 4. Jimmy's not that excited for Maxine. Just looks fine. Hell yeah, dog. Listen, that's all good. We respect it. I think it's gonna be really fun. I think it's gonna have a good twist. I have so much faith in Ty West too. You know, I think if Ty West had just made X and Pearl and those were like kind of his only big movies, that's impressive. Don't get me wrong. You know, 2 releases in 1 year, that fucking rock, cool. But another thing about Ty West is go back through his entire filmography. It's all good. I haven't seen the Western he did, in all fairness. That's the only movie of his I haven't seen. He did some Western like right before he got into X and Pearl. I heard it didn't have like crazy good reviews, but I have seen his horror flicks that he made prior to that, and I think they all rock across the board. There's this one, and I can't remember the name of it. It's like, what is it? Like the Communion or something like that? That's not it. But it's basically about like this cult, and it's totally like totally inspired by real life cults. I won't say which one because then you'll know the ending. But he made a cult movie. It's found footage. It rocks. So good. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but actually I'm gonna look it up because it's very worth the watch. And The Sacraments from 2013. Holy shit, put on this movie if you've not seen it. A very good found footage flick. Like all of Ty West's movies, though, it is a slow burn, so give it some time. But Sacrament's great. The Innkeepers is pretty good. House of the Devil is one of my favorites from him, and of course X and Pearl are sick. And if you haven't seen Cabin Fever 2 that he directed for some reason, so bad it's good. So nothing wrong with that. Trayvon King is saying, do you think The Boys season 4 trailer is scary? I don't know if it's scary. It was very bloody and gory though. Actually, you know what? I take that back. There's a little scene in that trailer where you see somebody like sawing off somebody's leg. That was pretty fucked up. Thought that was pretty crazy. Like, ooh. I dig that a lot. Daniel K is asking, how does Jamie feel about Scream 7? Oh, he would hate it. No, wait. What would Jamie's take be on Scream 7? Jamie would probably say, well, you know, I just hate the Scream movies. He would be very superficial about the whole thing. He'd be pissed off. He'd be like, why is there 7 of them? They stopped being good when they didn't make them in the 90s anymore. 90s were the only time you could make movies. That would be his take. I haven't thought about Jamie's horrible takes on movies in a long time. That's funny. That's very funny, Daniel. Would you like Terrifier to be set in space? Dear God. Dear God. No. Just flat out no, dude. Terrifier in space is like, that's just so jumping the shark, man. I think we already have the franchise is goofy enough where it is. I've always found Terrifier to just be very silly, which is why I even was telling Madison, I was showing her Terrifier 2 this weekend, and I'm like, what softens the blow to me in Terrifier is how goofy everything is presented. Like, it doesn't really bug me. The only scenes in Terrifier that really bug me are like the big kill sequences, like the bedroom sequence and girl getting sawn in half from down. You know what I'm talking about. I honestly, the rest of it, while it is super brutal, it's just very funny to me. It's just very like so it's very silly, like the way they present it all. And I don't know, that's why it doesn't really it doesn't scare me as much as maybe some other people. I think some people just see gore and they're like, I can't even watch this, like it's too much. But for me, it's just silly. It's a good time. It's like this is just Art the Clown having a great Saturday night, you know? That's that's what it gives off to me. My favorite found footage movie is Phoenix Forgotten. Madison showed me this movie recently. Phoenix Forgotten fucking rocks. This was really interesting. It's very much so one of those movies where it kind of like you kind of don't know 100% what's going on until the very end, which I like. It kind of keeps you in this mystery. It's like, is this really what's happening, or is there something else going on? And I don't want to say any more than that because I think the big punch of this movie is the ending. So give it a watch if you've never seen Phoenix Forgotten. This is I believe it was produced by Ridley Scott. It's a found footage movie that I feel like flew under the radar. People don't talk about it anymore, but I'm really glad I watched it recently. I was like, wow, that was pretty good. That was a good found footage movie. It's on my list when people talk about what's a good underrated found footage flick. That The Bay is another one. I think As Above, So Below might be my favorite like ever. I don't know, As Above, So Below. I just keep coming back to that one. It really works for me. But there's a lot of good ones, man. You know, Paranormal Activity came out and there was just this wave of them through the early 2010s. And so many of them are really worth your time. Not all of them. Definitely not all of them. I've seen some bad ones, but goddamn, there's some good ones out there. Film Gamer X is saying, I couldn't believe Tim Reed was cast in Stream. Haven't seen him in anything for years. It's good to see him. It's really good to see him. Stream has me so excited. Don't get me wrong. It was really cool to see the cast list though, for that just continuously grow with all these big horror, people that you're talking about here, Tim Reed, people who you feel have flown under the radar again, are super underrated. Keeping things consistent here. See? I love it. Stream has an incredible cast. Another movie I'm very excited for coming out this year in August. And I might be able to see the movie early. I don't know. I'm not saying anything, not confirming nothing, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with all that. I guess you'll find out soon. But I'm very excited for it. It looks fucking awesome. Check out Stream if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's coming from the same crew as the Terrifier folks. So that's really exciting. Really exciting, in my opinion. More slasher films from them. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. Nerix, I love the profile picture. So we got a teaser trailer for Terrifier 2. Do you think we will get a full trailer later? Did we not get a full trailer for Terrifier 2? I thought we did. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought we did. I think we'll get a full trailer, like a 2-minute trailer for Terrifier 3. I do. I think we'll get a full one. The other thing too now is there's a lot more writing on Terrifier 3. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be successful. I'm sure it's going to make money. But, we're talking about Terrifier 2, which had $250,000 budget and got dropped in theaters. It ends up making $15 million. That's fucking awesome. That's crazy. Some crazy good numbers. But now Terrifier 3 has been bumped all the way up to a $2 million budget. Oh, shit. We're talking 8 times the budget of the last one. So we should, in theory, make that much more times in profit. But who knows about that? I don't know. I'm kind of projecting, because here's what's tough, right? Terrifier is beloved. Terrifier, of course, people fucking love this. Horror fans are losing their minds about it. You can't go to a single horror convention without seeing something Terrifier right now. I mean, it is infectious. But the thing about Terrifier is it's beyond an R rating. This is one of the most brutal horror franchises ever made, in just 2 movies thus far. So, you kind of cut out the audience of younger kids. I still ended up seeing younger kids when I saw Terrifier 2 at the theaters both times it was released in theaters, which is nuts to me. But obviously the majority of people are not taking their kids to see this movie. So I don't know. I don't know what the turnout is going to be for Terrifier 3. I hope it's good though. I hope it's just like when Terrifier 2 dropped out in theaters the first time and it was whoa, full house for this movie. That's crazy. I was not expecting that. It was so exciting to see a gigantic theater filled with people, every seat full. For the first time it released in theaters. That was awesome. So I'm hoping to see the same thing happen with T3. I hope we get a full trailer. I hope the turnout's good. And I guess where I'm going with all that is the marketing will be fucking insane for T3 because, as I said, a lot more is riding on it. So, what do I think of time loop movies? Not like Happy Death Day, more like Triangle or In the Tall Grass. I like time loop movies. Triangle's really one of the only ones that impresses me, though. I feel like there's still a good time loop movie to be made. It's a good idea, but it's a complicated idea. It obviously requires a lot of thought. A lot has to go into it writing wise before you're able to really jump on something. We did get a full trailer for T2. I remember because I watched it 100 times. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure we got one. I remember the ending was Sienna and Art fighting and it was cut really cool. I vibed with that. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought we got that. Drew is saying Kristen Stewart is set up for another vampire movie. Vulnerable? Feels like deja vu. So I know you're talking about the Panos Cosmatos movie that's written by the guy that wrote Seven, which, holy shit, what a team up in terms of creativity. Fuck. I can't remember. It's called it's called Flesh of the Gods. That's what it was. Did I talk about that? I think I talked about that. Yeah, I talked about that in my video Saturday, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah. Yeah. No, dude, I am unbelievably excited for that. Easily one of the biggest stories from this past week. And you know what makes me sad? I'm going to go on a quick side tangent, but I had to titled that I titled that video like talking about the Scream 7 interview, which was cool and all, but it just wasn't really big news. Like, to me, that was the biggest story in that whole video. And I got a comment from somebody who was like, I don't care about Kristen Stewart vampire movies. Like, I just get to the Scream update. And I'm like, man, really? Like, that's a shame. That's a shame that you don't care about that, because man, Panos Cosmatos, I mean, dude has made some of the best sci-fi horror in the last 15 years, without a doubt. Beyond the Black Rainbow melted my fucking face. I cannot recommend that movie enough. I almost like it more than Mandy, even though I do think Mandy is a superior film. But Beyond the Black Rainbow, I like this. I actually like the story better of Beyond the Black Rainbow. But Mandy is a better film. I mean, it's just, Mandy's so good. Mandy is like the perfect trippy horror film. I don't know. It's so wonderful. But in my opinion, Panos Cosmatos, anytime he's attached to any project, we should be paying attention. He's got the Midas touch. He has yet to miss. His episode of Del Toro's little anthology series on Netflix is so good. It's the best episode in my opinion. It's got Eric Andre in it, which is so weird, but it's so good. Oh my God. Whew. I just love what that guy does. That guy's fucking awesome. So whatever he touches, I'm here for it. I can't wait to see this movie. He's doing a vampire flick now. It's like, what's this all about? I'm here for it. Your favorite Batman villain is Slade Wilson or Deathstroke. What's my favorite Batman villain? Trying to think of, like, because it's so easy to say the Joker or the Riddler or something like that. What's the character in the comics who's like his neighbor or whatever, his best friend growing up? I can't remember the fucking name of the character. It was like Bruce Wayne's like friend growing up, and he turns into a villain later on. I can't remember the fucking name of it. But he's a cool character. I think he's a cool character. I just can't remember his fucking name. I know they teased him in the new Batman, and it was like, oh, that was cool. He was like in a sign, or he was on like a billboard or something. Oh, it's totally slipping me right now. But there's some really good Batman villains that are only in the comics and have not been touched in the movies. And then there's also fucking then there's also what's his Mr. Freeze, who I think most people know him as the Arnold Schwarzenegger character. That is so not the character at all, which is so funny to me. Like most people know Mr. Freeze as the goofy character from Batman and Robin, but he's like one of the most depressing characters in all of like Batman history, which is crazy to me. So like comic accurate Mr. Freeze might be my favorite. I really, Mr. Freeze's backstory is tragic. Really good stuff there. I really hope there will be a full horror animated movie in cinemas soon. I really want one. The Gaslight District looks like horror. I'm hyped. I don't know what you're talking about there, but I have seen a few animated horror flicks that are pretty good. Mad God is one I highly recommend. Mad God is amazing. Stop motion animation, but still very good. Very, very terrifying. What's the fucking, there's a Train to Busan prequel, I believe. It takes place like during like the night the zombies like really attacked. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good little animated horror flick. It's cool. I vibe with it. Ooh, Jimmy's saying Scarecrow without question. He should be a main villain and not a secondary antagonist. Pastra did a great video on this. I need to know more about Scarecrow. I feel like I don't know a lot about him. So I gotta look into this. I gotta look into more about Scarecrow. That's cool. Hell yeah. Is Terrifier 3 going to theaters? Yes, it will be released theatrically on October 11th and will most likely go to the streaming service Screambox in December, around Christmas time. So this isn't confirmed. The theatrical thing is confirmed. Like, yes, it is going to theaters in October and will most likely run for like 4 weeks after that. It's not confirmed when it's going to streaming, but here's the thing. It's a Christmas movie, right? I imagine they're going to do the theatrical run throughout October because that's Halloween spooky season. Come on, that's why we're here to see Art the Clown. But then, you know, Christmas season comes along. We're looking for Christmas horror. Oh, Terrifier 3 that was released in theaters just 2 months ago. I think it would make sense for them to drop it on streaming like maybe a week or two before Christmas. You know, that little time period. And it will be going to Screambox, which some of you might be like, what even is that? It's kind of a newer streaming service from Bloody Disgusting and a lot of the same people that are like producing Terrifier 3. That's kind of like the big thing on that platform. There's some other good movies though. They have some good originals. I'm totally escaping me what was something else I liked from them. But they got some other good stuff on there for sure. You should watch Amber Alert. It's an amazing movie, in my opinion. 2012 found footage movie. Have we talked about this one, Madison? I don't know if we've talked about this. Amber Alert. I have not seen this, though. I'll have to check that out. Oh, yeah. So, Soul Station. Yeah, that is what it's called. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yeah, Soul Station was interesting. It's very like world building with the Train to Busan universe. But if you like that first film and you liked Peninsula, I recommend it. It's really interesting. It's definitely like out of all the Train to Busan movies, it's my least favorite. But it's worth a watch, especially if you like the live action movies. Mary is saying, what's your what favorite your horror movie in summer movie season so far? What's my favorite horror movie to come out this season? Like in summer? I'm trying to think. So here's what's tough. We have a lot of good movies coming out. Oh, what's just my favorite horror movie? I think that's what you mean. Just like in the summertime. What's my favorite summer horror movie? Dude, the Friday the 13th movies. I watch a lot of those this time of year. Honestly, one of the things I'm really excited for the rest of the year in terms of horror, though, that's coming out this summer is Cuckoo. Cuckoo looks so fucking good. That and Long Legs, I think, are going to be the movies I enjoy the most from this summer. In a Violent Nature looks awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'm really hyped for that. But those two movies, I think those are going to be bangers. Really excited. I love the director. I love Osgood Perkins, who's directing Long Legs, too. I really like his filmography thus far. So I don't know. I think that's going to be good. I really like, and Cuckoo, the trailer for that genuinely terrifies me. Like, that is one of the scariest horror movie trailers I've ever seen. And I really hope the movie reflects that. So it's good stuff. Soul Train is a documentary about North Koreans escaping to China to survive. I've never seen that. Ooh, okay. Sounds horrifying, though. Mickey Mouse versus Winnie the Pooh. What could the beef be between the two? So, oh man. Okay, so this is a movie that's happening, and no, it's not coming from Jagged Edge, who did Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and the sequel. It's coming from iHorror.com, which I fucking love iHorror. They're awesome. I don't know if I'm crazy about this movie idea though, because it's kind of riffing on what Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 did a little bit, and that's like, it just feels like we're starting to get into the cycle where public domain is starting to literally eat itself and copy things that they've already done, which I don't know how I feel about that. But Mickey Mouse versus Winnie the Pooh. This is a movie that is coming out, that is being made. It's about inmates in the 1920s escaping. They get caught in like this haunted, possessed forest or whatever. They die. They come back to life like 100 years later or something like that in the modern day. And they are resurrected as the children's characters, Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh, and have to battle for some reason. And of course, some teenagers get caught in the middle of it. I don't know how I feel about all this. I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's so silly. It's so ridiculous. But I'm like, at the same time, maybe it'll be fun. It just sounds very similar to the Winnie the Pooh backstory that they gave us in Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. It's not the same thing, but it's still characters emerging from the ground as the characters from the Disney movies. So I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about all that, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be fun. So with public domain horror, I'm just expecting fun. That's I'm not expecting much else. So we'll see. Is Blood and Honey 3 confirmed yet? It is not, but the creatives are thinking about it. They're currently filming Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, which we got our first images from today, which again I'll be talking about in a video tomorrow. Honestly, I'm pretty excited for Peter Pan, dude. That actually looks like it's going to be fun. So we'll be seeing that one later this year, according to Reese Frake Waterfield. In the last interview I did with him, he said that Peter Pan and Bambi are going to come out this year. That's kind of their plan. So Bambi's already shot, already edited, I guess, and that's coming out like I think that's like October is when that's coming out. I think Peter Pan is looking for like a November release date for those. But what he was talking about during that last interview I did, you guys might have saw that maybe 2 weeks ago. It was like me talking with Reese Frake Waterfield and Matt Leslie. We talked a little bit about what the release schedule is towards the end of the interview, and he says he wants to get those movies out this year, and then next year, top of the year is going to be Pinocchio, maybe Pooh 3, and then Poohniverse to finish it off. So I'm here for it. I like, honestly, out of all the public domain stuff we've gotten, easily the best thing is Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2. So if they can keep that level of quality, keep that consistent moving forward, honestly, I'm here for it, man. I think it'll be fun. So look, I'm not out here saying Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 was the best movie I've ever seen in my life, but it was really fun. It was really fun, really just so over the top ridiculous. I had a blast with it, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes next. All right, I got one more question. I think I'm going to be signing off. Darcy is saying, picture this, Michael Myers, dear God, eats a puppy, but oh no, it's Pluto. Insert Mickey versus Michael for the most confusing and squeaky voice battle to the death. I love that that's how we're finishing this off. That's insane, and I vibe with it, Darcy. Also, can I say, I love the gentleman in your profile picture there. That frog just looks so polite with that sweater. I would love to shake his hand and maybe take his flowers, but that's wonderful. That's great stuff. All right, everybody. Old Jake's tired. It's time to get some sleep and finish up that update video. I will have an update video for you guys super early tomorrow because there's going to be more updates tomorrow, I'm sure of. And you guys will see those probably the following day. So update videos galore for the rest of the week. It's going to be fun. I'm still editing my little short film, so I'm super busy with that as well. So it's going to be nuts. No promises on any content this week, but I'm going to try to just keep the update videos rolling, try to get those out. I will be live Wednesday and Friday this week to talk either about The Strangers or just do this random bullshit again, which is always fun. So stop on by 7 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time as well on Friday. So come on by, talk a little horror. It's been a really fun time. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. You all. Peace.